Hey, 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 we at the mount. Yeah, hey, okay, next gen, okay, next gen, okay, next gen, okay, next gen. We at the mount, we at the mount, yeah, yeah, hey, next gen, okay, next gen, okay, next gen, okay, next gen.
Yeah, y'all heard the intro. You see, I'm already turned up. I couldn't even, look, I ain't know it went on. That's how much is inside it. I love the intro. Good morning. Y'all are tuned in to the Mount Next Gen, and this is Recharge Reloaded. I'm your boy, Minister Patrick Williams, and I have two guests here with me today. If you notice, there are some news. Look, shout out to CC and Dre and Ari. They held us down last month. Give it up for them in the chat. Put some hearts up and all that good stuff. They held it down for the month of February. So salute to y'all. Thank y'all so much. We had a great time. Look, we have AJ. Okay. And who else? Xavier. That's what I'm talking about. Look, Xavier, you have, I can feel the energy. You have a twin. And I can feel that you need to fill that void. So is it okay if I invite somebody else in on the conversation?
Hey, yo, champ.
Huh?
Hey, man, it's the two-time state champion here, man. I'm Isaiah, man. What's up? Hey, we at the Recharge Reloaded. Hey, let's get into it, man.
Two-time state champion. If y'all don't know, this is the Boone family. They were actually honored as our first Recharge Spotlight that we had ever done during the Mount Next Gen. So salute to y'all, man. It is so good to be sitting amongst greatness. Look, they all are state champs, not just him. We got AJ, she's a cheerleader, and we have Xavier in the band. So they all was a part of that great moment. So, man, I'm excited just to be. Look, can I get a ring? I just want to honor it.
I'm gonna see if I can get it worked out for you.
Okay,
man.
thank you. I just want a jacket. It ain't even gotta have all the patches on it. It don't have to have my name on it or nothing. So look, make sure y'all like, tag, and share this broadcast. Please. I need you to share it. Even if you don't think somebody don't need it, chances are they do. So share it anyway. Share it. So this month is all about money madness. So being that it is March, we took a play on words, and instead of March Madness, it is money madness. So if you're trying to figure out what will we be talking about during this month, during this series, bing, 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 you got it. Money.
Money.
You hear that? Look, listen to that choir. Look, we're going to hit that one more time. Money. And y'all know how to follow directions. Y'all saw how I threw that to y'all, and y'all killed it. I love it. All right, so look, being that our goal is to help you all at this age to conquer finances. So we're just going to have a good conversation about money and see where it lands us, right? So I remember being y'all age, and I tricked up my money. I ain't even gonna front. When I was y'all age, I tricked up my money with my first job, right? When I first started working, I didn't have the concept of money. You know, young people, we understand. We don't necessarily fully grasp the concept of what we're supposed to do with money, and that's what I did. I tricked mine up. So one thing that I was taught is the principle of tithing. We were taught the principle of tithing, and I know for a fact that tithing works. So today's topic is secure the bag.
Secure the bag.
So put in the chat, secure the bag. Type it up, secure the bag. So in talking about securing the bag, what does it mean to secure the bag?
It means to get your money. Get your money right.
Okay.
Always have it.
Get your money right.
It also means to save it up so that you can get whatever you need in your life.
Okay, listen there, brother. It's important to save it up. I love it. What else? What?
Don't just spend it on things that you feel like would be a necessity, but spend it on things that you know that you need to spend it on.
Okay. All right. Cool. So I love it. All right. So we're securing the bag today. So do you currently have a job?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Where you work at?
I work at the Food Lion, like across from our apartment.
Okay.
Where we live.
Where you work at?
I work at Hardee's.
Bro, that was my first job. Where you work at?
Hardee's.
Oh, so because y'all twins, y'all had to go get the same job. Y'all, so do y'all work the same shift pretty much?
No.
Same schedule? No?
No.
Okay. Look, well, my first job was hardest, man. This is
wow.
exciting. Yeah. That's why we click, yo. That's why we click. I would still be at hardest today if they paid a little bit more. Yeah. Speaking of hardest, I was that person. Matter of fact, I was doing so well at hardest at a young age. I got an opportunity to be included in the employee handbook. So when you have, you know how you have orientation? I went and took professional pictures, and I was in the book with my uniform on. They gave me a fresh uniform. I used to make the chicken, so I had flour all on my old uniform. So they gave me a new one. They were like, you cannot wear that one for pictures. I didn't get paid for that, but they've been using my face ever since. I don't know if y'all still got orientation and all that stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I wonder, am I still in the book? You didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Okay, I was a young lad back then. I was a young guy, so you might didn't see it. All right, so I said that it was my first job, but my first job was actually cutting grass. Me and my brother been cutting grass since we was 9 or 10 years old. So I actually been securing the bag for quite some time. I just didn't start at 16. At 9 or 10, we started that. So today we'll be talking about stewardship. So, wrapped up in talking about securing the bag, we're going to talk about stewardship. And stewardship means the job of supervising or taking care of something such as an organization or property. All right. So now, if we want to talk about stewardship and to make it biblical, we're going to bring it into where we are, right? So as Christians, as believers, we believe in one God, and we believe that God created all things in earth.
Right.
Yes.
And we believe as stewards that we are supposed to take care of everything that God has for us. Everything that God placed here, that is our job. Our main goal is to take care of everything here on earth. So we're going to jump right into it, stewardship and securing it back, right? So Psalms 24:1. First scripture is Psalms 24:1. We'll be reading the New Living Translation, and it reads as this: the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. The world and all its people belong to him. The first point is everything belongs to God. Everything belongs to God. That is the first point. Everything belongs to God. The first point. All right. So the scripture says the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. The world and all its people belong to him. He owns it all. He owns it all. He owns us. He owned the job. He owned the money. He owned everything, right? And it's no way that we could do anything to take the ownership away from God.
For real.
So we don't want to forget that. If we keep the concept, in order to secure the bag, you have to know that it belongs to God. Now, I know some of y'all probably got confused just then. I probably lost somebody in the chat. Y'all was like, hold on, wait a minute. How am I securing a bag that don't belong to me? I know some of y'all are asking that question, like, how in the world can I secure it? You just told me it belonged to God. Well, I believe that you can still secure the bag as long as you steward it well.
Right.
Right.
So God gave it to us. God gave us the capabilities, the resources. He gave us everything we need in order to secure the bag,
Yes.
right? So in securing that bag, if we steward it well, then hey, I think we're good to go. We can still secure the bag in the Lord, right? So I believe that you can still secure the bag if you. So how do y'all feel? What is one way that you can secure the bag and steward it? So say, for instance, if you're saying that you're gonna secure the bag, but it's not yours, how do you secure the bag?
You tithe. You got to
Tithe.
make sure you
Tithe.
God gets his cut of the money.
Hold
that
on.
is his.
Oh, y'all good. Hold on, y'all jumping ahead now. Hold on, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. No, but I like that. You definitely have to tithe, and so we'll get into that. So in securing it, you just got to make sure you steward it well, right? So ain't nothing worse than seeing somebody or letting somebody borrow something and they return it to you all messed up.
Oh man.
Or it ain't.
That's got to be the worst.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing worse than letting somebody borrow something and they let somebody else borrow it.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? That's no good. That's no good.
Living on the same
So yes, you can secure the bag as long as you steward it well. You got me? All right, so jumping down to the next scripture, and we're going to jump all over the place as far as scripture because everything that we need is right in the Bible, and I love it. I use this opportunity to share that with y'all. So 1 Corinthians 4, verses 1 through 2. 1 Corinthians 4, verse 1 through 2, New Living Translation, and it reads as this. So look at Apollos and me as mere servants of Christ, who have been put in charge of explaining God's mysteries. Now a person who is put in charge as a manager must be faithful. So while securing the bag, you have to, this is my second point, be a good manager. You have to be a good manager.
Gotta be able to manage your money.
You got to be able to manage it. How in the world could you secure a bag if you can't manage it? You know what I mean? So just like Apostle Paul and Apollos, we are called to be good managers and to be faithful over what God has entrusted us with, right? So being a good manager over the bag that we secured, and while being a good steward, is the first what? What is one of the first steps that we got to do?
We got to tithe.
You got to tithe. You got to tithe. And what is tithing?
10% of either your paycheck or anything. 10%.
All right, 10%. All right, I was trying to figure out where you were going with that. You say 10% or, no, 10% of, yeah. So what is another thing that we have to do?
You also have to give an offering.
Okay, definitely you got to give an offering. So not only do you have to give an offering, right? Now, what I don't want you to do is mistake your offering for tithe. Do not take away from your tithe to give an offering, right? Because an offering is above and beyond your tithe. So your tithe is what you're supposed to. You have to pay your tithe. That is the first thing of being a good manager and being a steward over what God has blessed you with is to pay your tithe. Give back God his, right?
Right.
Then you give an offering. What is one of the third things?
Oh, you also need to pay yourself also.
Okay. All right,
So
definitely.
like in econ, they teach us to pay yourself first. 10% goes to yourself. But I feel like that if you pay yourself first, that takes out of the concept of stewardship.
Come on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So look, I don't want y'all to say nothing. I want to give Xavier an opportunity to answer this next one. What else do we do?
Bless others.
Yes.
At that
Say it again. Say it again with your chest.
Bless others.
You gotta bless others. You gotta bless them. I seen you peek over here at my tablet too. I just messing with you, man. No, you gotta bless others. You gotta bless others. One thing that I love about this whole financial piece is Elder Valerie Brown. She wrote a great book. It is The Miseducation of the Christian, and she broke that thing down to the 10th degree, right? She broke it down into percentages. And if you all haven't got it, go to Amazon and get that book. Quick little plug. Go and get the book now. Don't wait until you're an adult to get the book. You can learn about finances right now. And she breaks it down into percentages, right? So 10%, you pay your tithe. 10% go to God. 10% you pay yourself. That's savings. 10% you bless others with.
Yeah.
And then the other 70% you do what?
Live off of it.
You live off the 70%. You live off the 70%. Now that is being a good manager over what God has blessed you with. So it's best to learn this stuff now rather than waiting until you get to adulthood, because bad habits carry over, and how you start is how you finish.
Right.
So it's very, very important that you get a hold of it now. It's important. I'm telling you. I'd never forget when I was about y'all age, and I like to give my testimony and tell my story so that it helps other people through it, right? So when I first got my first job working at Hardee's, I got my first paycheck. I had saved up a lot of hours. I had worked a lot of hours, so it was a big check, right? So I went, we used to have this store in Churchland called Motions. I went and bought 5 pair of shoes.
Wow.
Yeah, my first check. You know how most people get their first fruit to Christ and, bring it to the church. Yeah, I took mine to the shoe store. Yeah. See, I'm the oldest of 6 kids, right? So my mom didn't buy, my mom and dad didn't buy shoes all year for us. We got them at the beginning of the school year, Christmas time, and you might have got some for taxes during tax time. Yeah. So look, I wanted to be cool and I wanted to be fresh, so I took my money and went and blew it, right? Let's just say I didn't get an opportunity to do that with the second check. No. My mama said, hold on, wait a minute now. Look, I let the first one get away. We're going to reel this on in because you need some responsibility. You need to, so she ended up giving us some bills. So then I had to start paying car insurance. Yeah. So mama made sure I was a good
How much was the car insurance?
And we don't want to talk about it because I still feel some type of way about the car because it was split between me and my brother and we wasn't even driving yet. But that's a whole nother conversation off of here. Mom, we need to talk. So the next scripture we're going to get into is Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30. Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30, and it's the New Living Translation. So because of time, we're not going to read all those verses. So look, y'all got scared. Y'all were like, whoa, that's a lot of scripture. We're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to paraphrase it, right? So there was a man that was going on a long trip. He called all his servants together and entrusted them with the money that he was while he was gone. So he gave 5 bags of silver to one and 2 bags of silver to the other ones, right? And then this other one he gave 1 bag of silver to. That was the last guy. And he divided it all into proportions according to their abilities, right? Yeah. Then he left on his trip. He came back after a long trip and called all his servants together, right? And just to see what they had done with his money. The one that had 5 bags, he doubled his. And the one that had 2 bags also did the same thing. He made it flip.
Yeah.
He flipped his money and brought, made some interest, made some more money and brought. Now that last one, that he only gave one bag to, did absolutely nothing with it.
Ooh.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he didn't look. He knew he was so bad with money. Bro was like, yeah, because I know how I do with money, I'm gonna go and dig this hole and put it in a hole so that at least when he come back and ask for his money, at least I got his money. So I can respect the fact that he didn't fumble the bag. You know what I'm saying? He didn't fumble it. He said, look, at least I'm gonna have this when he get back, right?
Right.
So most of the time, and hold on. So my man, the guy that gave him the money was hot. I mean, he was furious. He was really, really upset, right? Started calling him all kind of names and all that stuff, right? Like he even told him, you could have at least put my money in the bank to the point where it would have made some interest or something. Yeah. But instead, you just put it in a hole and did absolutely nothing with it. Like he was so upset with him, so he ordered them to throw him into utter darkness.
Dang.
Throw him and get rid of him, because this joker here ain't do nothing with it. Now, most of the time when you hear this scripture, you hear it talking about the talents and the parable of the talents and what you don't do with your talent, God will pull it from you and give it to somebody else.
Right.
Right? But I want to stay in the context of what the scripture is saying. He messed his money up. He was not good with his, right? So the third point, while securing the bag, you got to be accountable.
Be accountable.
While securing the bag, you got to be accountable. So let me ask y'all, can you be held accountable for your bag?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Now he gave it to them. Now once he gave it to them, it became their bag,
Yes.
right? It became their bag. So he was expecting them to do what they were supposed to do with it, right?
Yes.
So are you responsible enough to do what is right?
Have to be.
I need you to answer this in the chat. Are you responsible out there? Are you responsible enough to do what's right? I just need to know. Type it in the chat. Let us know, because we monitoring the chat too. We want you to be involved in on this conversation.
Right.
So the servant that only had the one bag was not accountable. It was not accountable whatsoever. Do y'all think he was accountable?
Absolutely
no.
not.
I mean, bro, just put it. Now, I can respect the fact that he put it in a hole and didn't fumble it, but he was not accountable, right? He didn't even. So the key thing about the parable is that it says in the scripture where he gave them what he thought that they can handle. He gave it to him. He said, look, I know you can handle this. So he actually thought when he gave him the one bag, look, I'm going to give you this one bag because you should be able to do something with this.
Right.
So at that point, what I think about is God does that with us. God gives us what we can handle. You know what I'm saying? He'll give it to us and see what we do it. It is up to us at that point to make it make sense.
Right. Yep.
He's going to give it to you now, but he's going to give us how many of us, we've all seen people fumble the bag. How many of us know somebody that messed up some money, got a lump sum of money and messed it up? Or how many of us know somebody that messed up an opportunity? All that, fumbling the bag. If you didn't take advantage of an opportunity, you fumbling the bag.
Being scared to go get what you really want.
That's it. So you got to step up, do your thing, and do it well. You got to step up, do your thing, and do it well. So this brings us into our fourth verse. And the fourth verse is Colossians 3, verses 23 through 24. Colossians 3, verse 23. And it says this: work willingly at whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. Remember that the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, and that the master you are serving is Christ.
Right.
So my fourth point is receive your reward.
Receive your reward.
So check this out. Just know that if you properly secure your bag and steward it well, you will receive your reward. You got to know that. If you do what you're supposed to do, God gonna bless you on the back end. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, it don't belong to us anyway. So we got to take care of what he let us borrow, what he entrusted us with, and we're talking about God.
Another way to put that is, would God have given you the bag in the first place if he either didn't allow you or didn't trust you with it?
That's it. He's not gonna give. Look, the scripture say he won't put more on you than you can handle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he wouldn't have gave it to you if you didn't. So I'm rocking with that. Thank you for that. So if you take care of God's business, he'll take care of yours.
Right.
That's true.
Simple and basic. All right. So the scripture says, work willingly at whatever you do. Anything, whatever you do, as though you were working for the Lord rather than for people. and the Lord will give you an inheritance as your reward, right? So at Hardest, I started seeing promotions that everybody else didn't see because I was a good steward over what God put me in that position.
Right.
So I started carrying it like that. I started carrying it like, you know what? I don't work for people, because if you put your stuff, if you put your all into people, people can let you down.
Yeah.
People can upset you, right? So instead of letting people get to you, I would flip it mentally and say, you know what? Nah, I don't work for these people. I work for God. Just like
Right.
what you were just saying, Xavier. God put me in position to even have this job.
Right.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
It wouldn't happen if God didn't allow it.
That's it. That's it. So I figured if I carried it like God would reward my efforts because I was giving all the glory to him, that, hey, I felt like he would reward me for that. I felt like I would be doing the right thing. And like I just stated, I would not have this job if it wasn't for God. I wouldn't be able to make this money if it wasn't for God. So I started stewarding my stuff better according to Scripture. I said, man, I can't just go out here and just mess the money up. I can't just go out here and, just throw it all away. I got to start putting some stuff in right places. You know what I mean? Because speaking about fumbling the bag, have y'all ever fumbled the bag? I don't want to be out here by myself just telling
Oh
myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think all
Yeah.
three of us have done it at some point.
At some point in time, we have.
Okay.
I guess let's go in order of.
Look, see, this is a family thing. So y'all all live in the same house, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all all got jobs, and you all fumbled at some point in time.
Yes.
Y'all tease
Yep.
each other for fumbling in the bag.
Oh,
Yes.
definitely.
All right, cool. So AJ, we'll start with you. What
All
have you
right.
spent your money on that you know you probably shouldn't have?
So it's not so much when I had my job. It was Sweet 16 or some point after that.
Okay.
I am for context, I'm the firstborn granddaughter.
Okay.
Both sides of the family. I'm very spoiled.
Okay.
And because I'm spoiled, I end up getting a lot of money for my birthday.
Okay, ball out.
The thing is, I'm also like really into games and stuff. So once I had like at least $300, I spent like a good $100 on a video game.
Okay, yeah, you really threw that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
fumbled that bag. Yeah, 300 you took. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you pay tithe off the 300 though?
I do.
Okay,
I do not.
yeah, you really fumbled the bag. All right, Isaiah, give me one. Make it quick. Time is ticking.
Well, there was one time, right? I was supposed to like tithe and everything, and I just didn't.
Okay,
And I blew like $100, $200 on football stuff.
that's real.
Yeah.
And see, that's what'll happen if you don't properly steward your money. If you don't pay your tithe and do this stuff, you'll have a hole in your pocket. It will get away from you.
Yeah.
What else?
Right.
What I did was the pure definition of blowing the bag up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
spent nearly $800 solely on game stuff.
Oh, no,
Nearly 800.
Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and end it on that note because
Yeah.
that's a lot of money. You fumbled a big bag right there.
Yeah.
All right. So stewardship is about using the resources that God has entrusted us with to accomplish the purpose he has for them. Everything we have, from possessions to the abilities, is a gift from God, and it's intended for us to serve a significant purpose.
Yes.
Right.
All right. So remember, in order to secure the bag, you have to first know everything belongs to God. You have to then be a good manager, and then you have to be accountable.
Right.
And then you just know if you properly secure your bag and steward it well, you will receive your reward. And that's all I got. So I hope that helped y'all today. Look, I am excited about this conversation that took place. I hope something was said that you can hang on to out there in the chat. Just put it in the chat. Put some hearts up and all that stuff if you enjoyed this portion of Recharge Reloaded, the Mount Next Gen. We have a Recharge Spotlight at this time. And Recharge Spotlight goes to David Seabury. Shout out to David Seabury. Last Sunday, he had his first gig playing drums for Refresh Community Church. Hard work does pay
That
off.
is-
I've known David to be practicing drums for years, man, and he finally got an opportunity
is
to play.
dedication.
So congratulations to David for making the Recharge Spotlight. Salute to you. So look, y'all don't go nowhere. If you don't have your young people in the room with you right now, I need you to
them
go
up.
and get them. Go and get them right now.
Get
Get
the
them
kids.
in the
Get
room.
them
Get
up
the kids.
now.
Be
Get
their,
them
baby.
per- be their
Get them in the
personal
room.
alarm clock.
So, because now it is time for Mountaineers Live with Minister Ulysses. Y'all go check it out right now.
Yeah.
Here it goes.